Hey everyone, I'm a Casual Watch Guy, and today I wanted to review the watches I brought with me on my most recent trip to Hawaii. As a watch collector, I always struggle to figure out which watches I want to bring on a vacation. If it were up to me, I'd bring all of them. But this time around, I really wanted to limit myself to only 3, because realistically on a trip, I'd only have a chance to wear a few of them. So this video documents what choices I made, why I made them, and how they did on the trip. For this trip, I knew that I wanted a travel watch that was subtle and not very attention-grabbing. I also wanted a watch that I could go to the pool with, and a watch that I could use for every situation, including classier ones. For a subtle travel watch, I thought the Hamilton Khaki Field would be a perfect fit. First off, it's a really practical watch. It's got 70 hours of power reserve, it's very readable, and it's got 100 meters of water resistance. I also think that it's perfect for being a subtle travel watch. When I'm traveling, I don't want to make myself a target by wearing a flashy watch, so I think this one fits the bill. I feel like this leather strap is a lot less attention-grabbing than, say, a metal bracelet. A rubber strap or a cloth strap will work the same way, but I feel like this brown leather strap really completes this whole adventure watch, field watch look. I also think this is a very good subtle watch because it's very slim at 38 millimeters. It slips right under the sleeve, and it's not very noticeable at first glance. Now my next pick is the Longines Conquest. This was my choice for my perfect, every situation kind of watch. It's good for casual wear, and it can be dressed up a little for more classy situations. The metal bracelet and the 12 and 6 markers definitely give it a more sporty feel. And the 300 meters of water resistance was perfect if I ever wanted to jump in the pool or jump in the ocean. But at the same time, the deep black dial really gives the potential to be dressed up. I was also considering bringing my Jazzmaster GMT to keep track of the different time zones, but it wasn't as versatile as the Conquest, and it didn't have the water resistance of the Khaki Field, which I thought was important in case we got caught in the Hawaiian downpour. Now for my last watch, I wanted a pool watch, so that meant a diver, something fun and water resistant. So I opened up my mostly divers box. As you can see, one of them isn't really a true diver, but it looks close enough, so I put it in this box. Now the Conquest could have easily been my pool watch, but I wanted something more fun and less versatile. So this Mickey Mouse Invicta was definitely on the list. Now this Jack Mason diver was also considered, but I didn't think it had the fun factor. Now next to it is the Seiko Samurai, but I thought it was a little big and I keep bumping into things with it, so I didn't think it was a great option. Now the remaining ones we have the Seiko Turtle and the Orient Komatsu. Both are blue and pretty fun, but I had to go with the Seiko Turtle because it's got the fun factor, it's practical, and it really just fits the theme of the vacation. So those are the watches that I'm bringing to Hawaii. I want to pack them in my sunglasses case because it's nice and portable and only bring a couple of watches too. So I wrapped them in a microfiber cloth and secured them nicely in these holders. I didn't put my khaki in here because I was going to wear it during travel. But other than that, we're ready to go to Hawaii. And now we're finally in Hawaii. And honestly, traveling with the Hamilton Khaki was a really great experience. It was very comfortable on the wrist, and it didn't feel like taking it off at any time during the flight. It also kept me entertained for a little bit on the flight when my movie wasn't loading. And overall, I would say my hypothesis is correct that it was going to be a very good travel watch. And after stuffing ourselves full of ice cream, we decided to head to our hotel. We were really happy that it wasn't raining, because the week before it was pouring every single day. And so the good weather allowed us to walk around and explore a little bit after we checked into our hotel. And of course, go watch hunting. Finally, we ended the day with dinner on the beach watching the sunset. A perfect conclusion to the first day of our trip. Our second day was reserved for walking around Waikiki and exploring the area. Our first stop was this little marketplace. Almost all the booths sold the same things, but it's still neat to walk around. After walking around a little more, we decided to go check out the resorts by the beachfront. We ended up getting stuck here for a little bit because we got caught in a rainstorm. Probably not the best day to wear a leather strap. But then we decided to brave the storm to get some lunch, and it was worth it. And after lunch, we took the trolley to go to Ala Moana Mall. And of course, we had to check out all the watch stores here. And there were a lot of watch stores. But there was one store that really let me down, and surprisingly, it was the Omega store. But that's only because it was closed. Even the Macy's they had seemed to have a lot more watches than usual. In the mall, my favorite watch store was probably Timeworks by Ben Bridge. It was a really neat store and everyone was super nice, and I spent about 30 minutes just trying on all the watches, and I was super tempted to buy the silver Black Bay 58 here. But this mall was massive, and after a while we got tired, so we got some poke and went home for dinner, and that was pretty much the end of day 2. Day 3 was our adventure day, and learning my lesson from yesterday, I decided to wear something with a rubber strap. Our first stop was Leonard's Bakeries, where we got some Portuguese donuts. And then it was off to the Aloha Stadium swap meet. And I was really glad I switched to a rubber strap today, because it was really hot, really humid, and there was almost no shade around. But it was still fun to walk around and look for stuff, and we actually found a cool seller who had lots of nice watches. And then it was time for lunch again. We wanted to go to the famous Giovanni's shrimp truck, but of course it was closed, so we ended up eating at a food truck next to it. And the food was pretty good. And since we're close by, we got Matsumoto's shave ice for dessert. And I didn't realize how good this place was until I ended up trying other places' shave ice. The shave ice here is really soft and really fluffy, and all the flavors are so good. And after shaved ice, we went on to the Dole plantation. And even though it wasn't actually that hot temperature-wise, it felt like I was sweating buckets because of the humidity. But it was still nice to walk around this little garden. And for our last touristy stop of the day, we decided to pay our respects at Pearl Harbor. I guess it was fitting that this is when the clouds came in and started to rain. It gave a real somber atmosphere, but it was still really picturesque. And after Pearl Harbor, we decided to go back to the Ala Moana Mall to get all-you-can-eat shabu. After all that adventuring yesterday, we got a late start and had lunch as our first task of the day. Since we missed out on Giovanni's shrimp shack yesterday, we decided to get shrimp for lunch. I started off with a khaki field, but it got too hot to wear the leather strap. I ended up wearing my long jeans Conquest today, although I was very self-conscious walking the back streets of Waikiki. It wasn't dangerous or anything, but it just didn't feel as safe as you would walking the main strip. But we made it to the zoo, and it was again a really hot day. Temperature-wise, it was only high 70s, but with the strong sun and the humidity, it felt like we were walking around in 90-degree heat. Monkeys didn't seem to mind though. The Honolulu Zoo was really nice to walk around in. They had a lot of great animals, and if it wasn't so hot, I think I would have enjoyed myself a little bit more. Coming here, we actually walked to the zoo, and ended up walking around the whole zoo. Like literally around the zoo because I missed the entrance, so we ended up walking around the whole block. And that was pretty miserable. So going back, we ended up taking a lift, and rested until dinner time. And for our last meal in Waikiki, we ended up getting some ramen. It was alright, but it was pretty filling. And after dinner, we walked around the malls one more time. And to end it all off, we had some Asian style shaved ice, and it was a perfect way to end our stay in Waikiki. Now day 5 was our chill day. We were going to head over to Disney Alani and just chill out by the pool and the beach. We got to Disney Alani around noontime, and it was a really nice place to be around. We ended up just walking for quite a bit before we got lunch here. And for lunch, we got poke and a sandwich. But then after lunch, we walked around some more and explored the area. And we even found these 2 billable watches. They even had their own little pool you can snorkel in, but we decided not to go this time. Today's agenda was to sit on the beach, and we did that basically until dinner time. The dinner was really good at Alani, and we even had some entertainment as well. And after dinner, we took a nice stroll on the beach, and then we binge-watched NCIS in our hotel room. Not the new Hawaiian one though, the originals. And that was the conclusion of our first day at Alani. The next day was our pool day. We didn't get that much footage, but we were just doing some stereotypical pool stuff like water slides, lazy river, and poolside snacks. And the Seiko turtle was a perfect watch for the job. For dinner, we went to the signature restaurant there, the Makahiki. It's originally supposed to be a buffet, but for COVID safety, it's now a 3-course meal. And the food overall was really good. It's a little bit pricey, but it was our last meal in Hawaii. After dinner, we took one last stroll to the beach and walked around the resort one more time. Traveling back, I wore my khaki field again because I really enjoyed traveling with it the first time. But overall, it was a really fun trip. Going back was a little bit sad since I had to go back to work, but we had a great time and look forward to coming back again. But in conclusion, I'm pretty happy with the watch choices that I made. The khaki field was a great travel watch since it was subtle, it was comfortable and readable, but probably wasn't the best watch to wear in Hawaii because of the leather strap. It was so hot and humid that I was often uncomfortable wearing that strap. But maybe if it was on a rubber strap, a NATO strap, or even this rubber leather hybrid strap that I have. I think I nailed the Seiko Turtle pick because it was a perfect watch to bring to Hawaii. The dial was super fun and it was very usable during the pool day. The Longines Conquest is a pretty solid pick too. It's a great everyday watch and has 300 meters of water resistance, but I didn't really feel comfortable wearing it around Waikiki. There's a little bit of riffraff there, and we actually saw someone try to steal a tip jar, and that person ended up harassing a security guard there too. So I'd probably only wear it to more classy occasions, like a classy dinner or something. Walking around Disney Alani was okay too, but I probably wouldn't wear it around the super busy tourist traps. But in general, I think I did pretty well with my watch picks. But that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please remember to like and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram for more great content.